The price of Bitcoin has reached an all-time high. Today, the price has surged over $16,000. In the past 12 months alone, the cryptocurrency went up more than 1,500%. But what's the big deal, and how does it actually work? Well, John Sneisen is a local Bitcoin enthusiast. He's also the founder of the Economic Truth, which aims to help people understand economics. Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
Doing all right, but I'm hoping you can take us back to the basics here and just explain, what is Bitcoin?
Well, Bitcoin, first of all, is a cryptocurrency. It was made during the 2008 crash. And what it was do, if you read the white paper of Satoshi Nakamoto, it was actually based upon how gold works. So it's based on you use machines to actually mine the Bitcoins as you used to extract it out of the earth. So that's the actual structure of Bitcoin. And that is what have brought a lot of people onto it and are very excited about it.
Okay, so I think that the part that is the most difficult to grasp here is how the mining works, because I mean, pretty straightforward with gold. There's a mineral in ore, and we can go and dig it up, and we can separate it, and we can smelt it, and we can make things out of it, and we can sell it.
Oh, for sure.
That doesn't seem so straightforward with cryptocurrency.
No, and I agree. I'm also a lover of precious metals, but when it comes to the Bitcoin and how it's mined, it's a huge processing power that is used to find equations to an algorithm, and when they find these equations, they create a block, which then in point creates Bitcoins out of existence. Now, Bitcoin will only have 21 million Bitcoins in existence, so that's why it's the finite type of it, where there's only X amount of that you can actually print, like with the government, for example, and the Canadian dollar, they could print as much as they want. Yeah.
So where the algorithms, where do those live that we're mining for them?
The algorithms, they work off of, like the computers actually talk to the algorithm that runs in the background, and what they do is they use their processing power to find these solutions to equations that have been set up for them to use their processing power. So it's kind of a usefulness of the whole system that creates the value, the actual physical value that holds Bitcoin to some sort of value instead of just nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say I don't know much about the currency, because I don't, but I'd like to get Bitcoin. How do I do that here in Manitoba?
It's very easy. You can go on the exchange that I use is Quadriga CX out of Vancouver. So you just set up with a bank account, your regular bank account, and then you have an account to transfer money there, and then you buy Bitcoins. It's quite simple. I also have a Hong Kong account with ANX Bitcoin, it's called, and you can actually, they have MasterCard and Visa cards that you can actually upload your Bitcoins to, and then you can actually go in the store. So it doesn't look like I'm using Bitcoin, but I'm actually physically using Bitcoin through your debit or credit card. Yeah.
Okay. So does that enable you then to use that anywhere? Because not everywhere will accept Bitcoin as payment.
No, exactly. There's certain places I just bought silver, precious metals with my Bitcoins directly. Now, of course, with the Visa and MasterCard adoption, they created something that's available most places around the world. So it's a huge adoption step that they took. Yeah.
Okay, but what are there businesses in Manitoba that accept Bitcoin?
I know there's Best Sleep Center. David Keem, he was one of the first ones in 2013 when we hosted the first CoinFest, it was called. David Keem was one of the sponsors, and he has actually been selling his furniture and so on with taking Bitcoins. And he just recently had the promotion where you bought, I think it was a bed, you actually got a little bit of Bitcoin. So that is gained substantial amount of value since the 2-3 months ago since he gave that away.
And there was at one point in time, was there not a Bitcoin ATM in
There's
Winnipeg?
a couple of them in town. There's spread around. I don't know exactly where they are at right now because I don't use the ATMs. But I know there's some. There used to be one at Santa Lucia Pizzeria that they moved somewhere else. And I used to pay. Now it's very expensive pizzas that have become, ever since I used to pay with Bitcoin when I was 10, about $100 worth of Bitcoin. But now it's just, so pizza is very expensive, the pizza that I bought. But it's a tremendous step forward into the future, and I think it was a solution to the current system that I see, from my writings and my books that I've written. I see the coming failure of our current system that have happened so many times throughout history.
But at this point in time, I mean, there isn't such a thing as a conversion rate between the Bitcoin and a Canadian dollar, is there?
Oh yeah, there is.
So what is the rate then? What's the
current rate? Actually, I'll look it up right now. It'll take me just a couple of seconds here. Let's see. The current rate is As we speak right now, $20,000 Canadian.
Okay.
That's on the Quadriga CX exchange. Yeah, so that's they have exchanges in all countries, and I actually look at Venezuela, which is in a hyperinflation right now. So Bitcoin has actually kept a lot of value. One Bitcoin in Venezuela bolivars right now is 1,433 million Venezuelan bolivars. So it actually kept its value. People said that it never been through a stress test like that, and it actually did keep its value, actually more substantial than gold and silver, because it's heavily manipulated by several banks that are, setting the price by trading up and forth and manipulating the price on it. Yeah.
So how much of a gold mine, so to speak, are people sitting on if they already have Bitcoin?
Well, you could just time whatever Bitcoin 0 point or 1 point, whatever it is, times the Canadian dollar or the US, or whatever currency you have, and there you go. There's your value. I lost 8 Bitcoins back in the day when it was $25, and now it kind of hurts a little bit, but because that would be 100,000 plus now.
Yeah, it's one of those things though that you kind of have to have a strong stomach for, right?
Oh, you definitely have to, and it's so early in the market right now that the market cap has grown substantially, like how much money has come into it, but it's still a minuscule market compared to any other market in the world. And I just put out a post on something called Steemit yesterday. Steemit is a cryptocurrency-based social media platform where you can blog. So instead of Facebook, you put out all your private information there and show your pictures. Actually, on Steemit, you can get paid because people buy the Steemit currency, and then they upvote you, and you actually get money for putting out your information. Instead of with Facebook, for example, there's nothing to gain there other than them getting all your information.
This is all fascinating to me. Back to the Bitcoin mining here, because the way you described that for me, it's computers searching for solutions to algorithms, and as you find those algorithms, there you've got your
the solution to the mathematical equations. Yeah,
right.
That's what they do. Yeah.
So there's a finite number of these algorithms and solutions to them.
So with Bitcoin, there's 21 million coins that could be created into circulation.
Okay.
So that is the finite number of it, and that's what you find by these solutions. And they find what's called new blocks, and these new blocks have Bitcoins in them. And also, what the miners do, they also confirm every transaction. So they look at a transaction, it's like, this is a valid transaction. So they also are used to kind of be the backbone of the whole system in order for people to transact in between each other.
So if this Bitcoin mining has been going on for some time now, there's a finite number of coins, then we're running out of coins.
We are, but there's still lots left. We're at 16.5 something million as we speak.
Okay.
And there's going to be 21. So there's still some money
just
for
over
people
4
to be able
left there for you.
Yeah.
And is it worth getting into Bitcoin mining at this point in time?
Oh yeah, it definitely is. It's I have several friends. I have a friend of mine that's currently mining, and he just have one, and he's making about he said last, with the price being so high, it's almost $60 dollars in Bitcoin a day.
$60 in Bitcoin a day.
Yeah.
Just letting the computer run.
Yeah, and this is just a computer. This is a special made computer that is made in China. It's Bitmain, the company is called. It's called Antminer, and you just set it up. You got to be a little bit of a geek to set it up. Maybe if you know someone, I know someone that's an expert, so I could ask them. But you basically set it up. It needs an internet connection. It needs a power supply, and it needs just you to plug it into the wall. And then you just need to keep it cool during, especially during the summertime. But otherwise, that's all you do, and then it just does the work for you.
This is all very neat stuff.
Yeah.
We have heard, though, the price of Bitcoin increasing, as we were discussing earlier. But what do you predict as the future for the currency?
Well, I predicted that we at 10,000 that we're going to see a drop, a sell-off. People are going to take profits, but it seems like people want to hold on for a little bit longer. We're going to see ups and downs. I've seen so many ups and downs where suddenly the Bitcoin price dropped 50%, but then it regains just crazy after that again. So I predict another, big correction, maybe 20, 30, 40, who knows, 50%, and then it's just going to keep on accumulating, and more people are going to get involved around the world. We're just at a small level where, you think about it this way, that when people first started to get emails, and there was very little amount of people actually using emails, well, today almost 95% of people plus almost use email. So that's kind of the adoption rate. We're probably not going to have 95% of the world population using Bitcoin, but we definitely are going to have a lot more people getting involved and starting transacting it. The reason why I found it so fascinating was because of the value of how they look at currency and money in a historical scale, because usually when you implement a monetary system that most governments and central banks today have, they could just print whatever amount of money that they want. And we are losing, you've seen the inflation go up substantially over the last 10 years as an example. So that's why we're seeing things like this. Makes me very, very excited because it actually has a physical set value that it will have over time. So it's not you can't just suddenly print 42 million more Bitcoins.
And it's not attached to a nation, therefore it doesn't feel the impact of civil unrest around the world or natural disasters.
It doesn't. Yeah, you could move it around. It's out there on the internet somewhere, and people, like especially in Venezuela, the adoption rate is substantial. I talked to Venezuelans that have been in such disarray by the civil unrest and everything that's been going on there during this hyperinflation, and people are starving. So what people have done to take their wealth out of the country, because they got confiscated a lot of it in the banks, they actually moved it out with using Bitcoins and got away from losing most of their money, because that's what the risk is. In Cyprus was the same thing in 2013 when they bailed in the banks, the Larnaca Bank and Cyprus Bank. What happened there, people thought their money was insured, but they actually took 6.6% of the insured money. So people started adopting Bitcoin there as well. So that was the solution. You're outside of the banking system. There's no need for the banks really, because the third party disappears. Yeah.
It's a whole new world. Thanks so much for this, John.
Yeah, no worries.
John Sneisen is a local Bitcoin enthusiast. He's the founder of the Economic Truth, which aims to help people understand economics.
Like what you see here at WAM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon, we can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so overwhelmingly demonetized and censored by YouTube as the Anti-Defamation League comes in and flags all of our content as hate speech. You can also find me at Josh Sigurdsson at Steemit.com. That's Steemit.com, the future of social media, where you get paid in the upvote of your post via Steem, the cryptocurrency. You can also find our Bitcoin address in the description and the comments below, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And don't forget to come on down to Anarchapulco in Acapulco, Mexico in February, one of the best events of the year, and you can save money on your tickets by typing in promo code WAM. That's WAM. We'll leave the link below for you, and until next time, don't forget to subscribe. This is Josh Sigurdsson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.